Hey guys, it's Boban and I'm back with another video. In this one I'm going to do a quick talk about wireframing and form. This is a small section of the longer full tutorial. It's available on the Patreon. I will put a link to that now. Thank you for subscribing. Okay, as an example, let's start off and draw a forearm like this. And I'm trying to draw this as just an outline to give you an example, but what if we try and draw this at a different angle? So if I try and rotate the arm around like this, and then we have the hand forward like so, it might get a bit more difficult to draw it like that. Although in this I'm going to talk about a different aspect of that. So as we get into these different poses of the same thing, you might start to run into problems with the foreshortening and where these forms start to overlap, and what the shapes that you've drawn in this one, you might know generally the shape of the outline of something, but how does that change once we start rotating and moving it? Because you might know, okay, well the wrist is thinner than the top of the arm, so it wants to get wider up the top here, and yes, but also how do we deal with that when it's at these different angles rather than one that will very clearly show that? And let's draw a more extreme one too, not one where it's gonna overlap in kind of a crazy way like this, where more of it is gonna get obscured and you might only see the hand, not even the wrist, and then just further down into the arm. What is that gonna look like? Because that's difficult to draw. I'll draw in these lines here too, so that's the idea that we've got that skinnier at the top and then wider towards the bottom, which is still true in the way that I'm drawing this, but you might think that this is the problem that you're having, where it is this outline, and trying to foreshorten that and make it a shorter length, but it's still going to be basically the same shape. One way to conceptualize this, if you're thinking about drawing this way actually, is that, okay, we have this shape. It is flat 2D lines that you are thinking about on the page to define a 3D form. So I will change color and flip this. So if I bring it up, this is basically the outline I've got on this very clear angle without much foreshortening. And I've got this on free transform, so I'm going to warp this over the top of these other examples. So you can see it's basically the same 2D shape that is being manipulated to adjust the angle. I will have to flip it over and rotate it to get it onto this one as well. So you can see this is basically the same as well. And that actually lines up pretty closely with these janky examples that I've drawn. So this is an example of trying to define a 3D form with 2D lines, or thinking in 2D. Even though your drawing is going to be something that is 2D, I'm saying that you are thinking in a way that is just manipulating 2D lines rather than thinking about the 3D form that you're defining. I mirror and explain this point with a demonstration in a slightly different way with my Drawing What You Don't See video, which I'll put a link to now. So if you're running into this issue and finding yourself in this trap when you're drawing, let me suggest that this is not the problem. The problem is everything in between those two lines. And I do very purposefully draw these as rolls around the arm, so you can see they get a lot more dense and closer together as things start to foreshorten as we go further down these. So we'll have these ones that go horizontal across the form, and then we'll also have these what I'll call vertical ones that will roll up the form like this, and this is called wireframing. I'll just draw it quickly onto these ones loosely as well. So I have tidied these up and now they look like this. And what we're going to do is wrap our wireframe around this, basically like, I suppose a good example is a Christmas ham, where you see the either string around it or the scoring on the top. So that's what we're going to do with these. So you can see already with this, I have to find the muscles in there, but that's mainly what I'm thinking about. You can see the way that these bands of the wireframe will wrap around the form of those, and then it helps as we get into this heavier foreshortening to be able to wrap them around like this. So I've redrawn my Christmas ham, and what do we do with the Christmas ham? We slice it. So I have doodled a few. You can see up here I've kind of drawn the other side in loosely so that it goes all the way around. But if we have a slice of the Christmas ham and we take it out from the Christmas ham, we have a 2D shape like this, just a cross section. We could pull these out from different parts of the ham and we're going to end up with a sequence of them, much like we've got on the arm. So let's pick some from in the arm. There is a quite clear one here where there is more arm muscle defined in there. So we've got this kind of shape going on where it will roll around like this. Let's pull out this one from around the knuckles too. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 kind of going around like this, and that's going to roll around down to the palm side of the hand. So like the ham, we have a sequence of these forms that we then kind of stitch together and smooth out into a shape. Now all these kind of bumps and placements here are dependent on bone and muscle, which you're going to need to study to do this. But you can apply this to any kind of form that you're drawing or trying to improve on. So even if you want to draw the spaghetti tube limbs like this, you can do the same and go through with these hoops and curves to practice, because it can be quite difficult to draw a curve around a form like this without drawing the other side. And you can practice like this on very simple things as well, and what you learn there will be able to be applied in these more complex anatomical forms. So where I've taken these slices out here, why would you want to see them from this angle or be able to draw them in 2D like this? I'm going to go on and start explaining that and why this is important in the full tutorial on the Patreon. Links to everywhere that I post, my commissioner information, and the Patreon are down in the description. Here are a few more videos that are similar that you can look at as well. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye!